Yellow Brick War, Chapter 37. Knox and I were swept up in the tide of people and carried along with them to where long tables had been set up. Sunfruit hung in the air, casting a warm, gentle glow over the piles and piles of food. No one had to be told twice to eat, including me. Ozma had decided on an informal party, given the circumstances. No servants, no seats, just banquet tables piled high with food and heaps of cushions and bright woven carpets scattered around the floors of the tent city. Most people elected to take their food outside, finding spots in the grass or under the trees. But I noticed as I filled my plate that people were getting out of their way or even bowing to me. It was a strange feeling, one I didn't really like. I tried to make myself as unobtrusive as possible as I carried my plate outside and found a place far from the crowd. That was when Knox found me. At last, we've gotten away from the rest of the quadrant. For how long, I didn't know. You don't have to tell me, he said in a low voice. I know, there's something wrong, but I can't figure out what it is. I set my plate on the grass, my appetite gone. I have to find my way back to get back to Kansas, I said. If the Gnome King has my mom, the quadrant will try and stop you, and I don't know if I can stop them. Because you're bound to them? He nodded. I can try to undo the spell that binds us together, but I might not be strong enough to do it on my own. I can help. Even with the shoes, Gert and Mombi are more powerful than you are. I don't know. He shook his head, his expression bleak. I want to help you, but I don't know how to get away from them. Come with me, I said impulsively. If we find a way back, just come with me. We'll defeat the Gnome King somehow. We'll prevent him from coming back to Oz. We can stay together and forget all about this war. Come with you to the other place? He asked, startled. For good? I realized what I'd asked of him as soon as the words were out of my mouth. You're right, I said. I'm sorry, that's totally unfair. I can't ask that of you, any more than I can stay here. I didn't say no, Amy. His dark eyes searched mine. What's left for me here? Everything? Your entire life? He shrugged. My family's dead, my home is gone, but I can't leave Oz until I know it's truly safe. In a perfect world, we don't live in a perfect world, I finished. If I let Oz now, Knox wasn't coming with me, and I wasn't sure deep down if that was the sacrifice I was willing to make. He looked at me and I knew he saw everything I was feeling in my eyes. Without speaking, he leaned in and kissed me. He slid his hands down the side of my waist as I ran my fingers through his thick, soft hair. I knew I'd be smelling sandalwood in my dreams for the rest of my life. Knox fumbled with the buttons on my dress, sliding it down one shoulder and kissing the curve of my neck. A shudder ran through me, like magic in something completely new. I felt the lean, rippling muscles of his back through the soft fabric of his jacket. Knox, I whispered. Shh, he said, kissing the words away. You've earned this. Just this once. Forget. Footsteps crunched across the gravel, and we both sat bolt upright. I could hear the murmur of a familiar voice. Knox grabbed my hand and tugged me upward, into the air. We floated into the branches of a gnarled old tree and hovered there, hidden by the foliage. Think you're worrying too much, Mombi was saying. Ozma defeated the Gnome King once. She's strong enough to keep us safe now. In the past she might have been, Glamora argued. Her voice had a strange, harsh echo to it. But the Gnome King is stronger now than he's ever been. If he finds a way to control Amy, we're all in danger. He could easily turn her against us, and Glinda will have made Ozma more cautious. United, we're as powerful as she is. She won't trust us. The quadrant is in danger. Amy's in love with the boy, Mombi said dismissively, and the shoes protect her. Knox is tied to the quadrant. He'll keep Amy under control. Despite the situation, I blushed furiously. Was it really that obvious? And you saw what happened when we tried to control him, Glamora snapped. Knox and I exchanged glances. What was she talking about? What exactly are you suggesting, Glamora? Mombi's voice was cool and distant. Treason? Of course not, Glamora said. Nothing done for the good of Oz is treason. The good of Oz, of course, being dependent on our control of it, Mombi said dryly. Whatever you think of Ozma, we have to gain control of Amy, Glamora stated. She's a danger to all of us. She won't use magic again, Mombi said. Can you guarantee that? Glamora asked. I'd bet my life on it, Mombi said. For the briefest second, her eyes flickered upward. She knows we're here, I thought. So why wasn't she revealing us? Glamora looked as though she was about to object, but she bit down on her words and smiled, yielding unexpectedly. Very well, dear sister. I'm sure you know what's best. Shall we return to the celebration? You go ahead, Mombi said. I'm going to enjoy the peace and quiet a little longer. Glamora gave Mombi a searching look, but she nodded and turned back toward the clamor of Ozma's celebration. Mombi waited until I could barely make out Glamora's slender figure. All right, she said, looking up at us. You can come down now.